I know it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it's 100% what happened to me about 18 years ago, when I was still relatively newly married. My then husband and I moved into a townhouse-style apartment. The 2 floors of our apartment were on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the building. The management office and mailbox area was almost directly below us on the ground level. The woman who managed the building was older, didn't care for the property well, and usually spent most days chain-smoking Capri non-filter cigarettes in her office. She was bitter, unpleasant, and deeply prejudiced. Imagine renting from someone like Juno, the social worker from Beetlejuice, but without the dark humor or occasional charm. She really resented that we got the townhouse, claiming we lied about my being pregnant when we moved in because she didn't want to rent that unit to people with kids. She also made more than a few disparaging remarks about my husband due to his race. She was a truly awful person, so after my son was born, I was a stay-at-home mom, just trying to keep the house clean and the baby happy. I didn't have a car or any local mom friends yet, so life felt pretty isolating. After lunch one day, the kiddo needed a bath. Anyone who's fed a 9-month-old baby food knows the kind of mess that can happen. So I went upstairs and ran the tub. Soon, I had the baby sitting happily splashing in one of those suction cup bath seats. It was the middle of winter, and we had no heat, an issue I'd been fighting Mrs. Delaney, the landlord, about for weeks, along with other maintenance nightmares. An arcing ceiling fan, a garbage disposal held together by duct tape and hope. We basically had to keep a space heater or 2 in every room just to keep the chill off. I brought one of the heaters into the bathroom to keep it warm enough for bath time, and had it safely placed out of reach on top of the counter where it couldn't be knocked over. I was standing in the bathtub, getting ready to lift the baby out, when all of a sudden, the space heater started to rock back and forth. It hadn't been moving before. I had this horrible feeling of dread as I looked at it, and I just reacted. Something told me I couldn't get both of us out of the tub in time. I reached down and yanked the baby's seat up, dropping him over the side of the tub onto the floor, just as the heater reached the end of its cord. It thumped into the shower door, bounced off the edge of the tub, and landed on its side on the floor a couple inches away. It shut off automatically. The model had a tip-over safety feature. But then, something strange happened. When I looked over to the corner of the bathroom, that part of the room seemed to darken. Not dimmed, darkened, like shadows were pooling there, spreading slowly across the tiles. There was no smoke, no flicker in the lights, no windows to explain it as cloud cover. Just unnatural darkness. And then came the smell: cigarettes. Capri non-filters. That sharp, acrid scent I knew all too well from countless tense visits to Mrs. Delaney's office. The odor was so thick it made me cough, and my chest actually ached from breathing it in. Yet, I couldn't see any haze or vapor, and I felt it, that overwhelming sensation of hatred and malice, like someone was standing behind me, glaring with pure venom. I grabbed the baby and wrapped him in a towel, bolting downstairs. I couldn't bring myself to go back up there, not alone, not with him. I used some diapers from the diaper bag to dry him off and kept him swaddled in the towel, huddled close to me to stay warm. I stayed downstairs the rest of the day until my husband got home. Every so often, I'd glance up toward the stairs, toward the bathroom. But I didn't want to take the baby back up there, and I was too scared to leave him alone downstairs. When my husband asked why the baby wasn't dressed yet, I told him about the heater falling and the cigarette smoke in the bathroom. He assumed it was another maintenance issue gone wrong and went up to check it out. He found nothing, no electrical problems, no damage to the outlet, no lingering smoke or smell. He even put the heater back on the counter and turned it on, watching it carefully for several minutes. It didn't move. He laughed it off. But later that day, we heard Mrs. Delaney's son yelling downstairs near the mailboxes, screaming at tenants, demanding answers, clearly frantic. That's when we found out the truth. She'd had a massive heart attack earlier that afternoon. Her son had found her dead in her chair, still holding a lit Capri non-filter between her fingers.